Everything we love eventually changes. The people we cherish, the moments we wish would last forever, even our thoughts and feelings, all rise, stay for a while, and fade away. Welcome to the Dharma Journey, a place for deep reflection, where we explore the timeless truths of the Buddha, not just to understand them, but to live them. In today's video, we enter one of the most profound insights of Buddhist wisdom, impermanence, the truth that everything is always changing. This truth may seem unsettling at first. But through the eyes of the Dharma, impermanence isn't something to fear, it's something to awaken to. It teaches us how to let go, how to love without clinging, how to live fully in the present, knowing that this very moment will never return. By understanding impermanence, we begin to soften our grip on control, embrace life's flow, and find peace even in uncertainty. Let us reflect together on this beautiful truth, not to escape change, but to walk with it, gently and mindfully. Let's begin. Why does everything keep changing? This might be one of the deepest questions we ever ask ourselves. It often arises when we sit alone and look back at the things we once had but lost, a relationship that faded, health that declined, a career that shifted, money that came and went, loved ones who left without warning. No matter how hard we try to hold on, things slip through our fingers. Why is that? Why do we humans, with all our longing and effort to control, still fail to keep anything forever? Buddhism doesn't shy away from this question. When the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree and awakened, he didn't offer sweet illusions to comfort us. He looked straight into reality and named it clearly, impermanence. Impermanence, an unchanging truth about constant change. In Buddhist teaching, impermanence, Anicca, is one of the three universal marks of existence, along with suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. Understanding impermanence doesn't mean resigning ourselves to hopelessness. It means waking up. It means seeing things as they are. So we stop fooling ourselves that we can cling to what's always moving. Everything around us carries the mark of impermanence. Flowers bloom and wither. The sun rises and sets. Youth arrives and slips away. Love flares brightly and then fades. Success dazzles and then dissolves like fireworks on New Year's Eve. Even our thoughts are impermanent. One moment they appear. The next moment they vanish, replaced by new ones. Emotions too, joy, sorrow, anger, love, they come, linger for a while, then pass. Impermanence is not the enemy. We fear impermanence because we tie it to loss, breakups, endings. But look closer, without impermanence, could a seed sprout and grow? Could illness be cured? Could an unkind heart transform into a kind one? Could pain and ignorance ever be relieved? Because everything changes, hope is possible. Because things are impermanent, we can heal. We can transform. Today's suffering can soften tomorrow. Yesterday's mistakes don't have to trap us forever. Impermanence is not the enemy, it's the nature of life itself. Suffering only arises when we cling to what cannot be held. Craving and clinging, where suffering begins. When we see impermanence clearly, we see where our suffering comes from, craving and clinging. We fall in love and expect that love to stay the same forever, even though the human heart constantly shifts. We wish to keep our youth and strength, ignoring the reality of aging, sickness, and death. We chase wealth, status, and power, though they flow through our lives like a river that never stops moving. This hope for permanence in a world that never stands still is the root of our exhaustion, our fear, our jealousy, our heartbreak. Letting go doesn't mean losing everything. So what does seeing impermanence teach us to do? To let go, but not to abandon life or give up on living fully. Letting go means loosening our grip, not our care. It means living deeply with what we have while it's here, knowing it won't stay the same. When we love someone, we love them fully now, because we know this moment won't repeat. When we have health, we cherish it, care for our body while we can. When we have wealth or success, we use it to do good while it lasts. And when change comes, we accept it with a quiet smile, because we have lived wholeheartedly. Letting go also means releasing the illusion of control. We can't stop the sun from setting or time from passing. But we can sit in stillness, watch the sunset, savor the dawn, listen to the rain, feel the breeze, without fear of losing them. Impermanence, an invitation to wake up. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha said, "All conditioned things are impermanent." When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. This is the path to purity. Seeing impermanence clearly, we no longer cling so tightly. We stop wasting energy grasping for what can't stay. We open our hands, our minds, our hearts. We accept loss as part of life, and that acceptance makes us lighter, freer, more alive. Impermanence also teaches us to live fully. Because everything ends, the only true thing we have is now. This breath, this meal, this smile, this birdsong, this person by our side. Everything becomes precious when we see it's fleeting. Without impermanence, there could be no freedom. The beautiful paradox is that if things were not impermanent, freedom would be impossible. If our anger, fear, and ignorance were fixed, the Buddha could not have awakened, and we could never hope to follow. But because everything changes, even our deepest suffering can transform. Impermanence is the door to freedom. It means we don't have to be trapped in who we were yesterday. We can grow, heal, and wake up, right in the middle of this changing life. How do we live with impermanence and not drown in fear? The Buddha never told us to run away from life or to numb ourselves to feeling. He taught us to live fully within this changing world, anchored in awareness and compassion. Through mindfulness, we see every moment's rising and falling. Through compassion, we care without grasping. Through wisdom, we see the true nature of things and stop fighting the flow. Impermanence, when understood, it sets us free. So if today you're hurting because you lost something, remind yourself, everything changes. This pain will change too. Let impermanence remind you that tomorrow holds new blossoms you haven't yet seen. Love what you have, while you have it. Cherish the fleeting. Honor what ends. Because it once gave you life, beauty, or joy. And keep walking with your eyes open. Because in this endlessly changing world, freedom is not found in clinging, but in gently letting go, again and again, moment by moment. What is impermanence? One of life's three universal marks. When we look deeply into life, we find three profound truths the Buddha pointed out, three marks that unlock a clear, liberating understanding of reality, impermanence, suffering, and non-self. These aren't cold, abstract ideas, they are living truths we can observe in every moment. When we truly see and absorb them, they transform the way we live, love, and let go. Among these, impermanence, Anicca, is often the first that anyone can notice and relate to. It doesn't hide in secrets or distant philosophies, it's right here, in every heartbeat, every sunrise, every goodbye. Impermanence is not a tragedy, as many fear, it's a natural law of the universe, and when we see it clearly, it wakes us up to live more mindfully and freely. Seeing impermanence, seeing the world as it truly is. The word impermanence means not permanent, not lasting, not fixed. Everything, material or mental, our bodies, wealth, relationships, even our thoughts, constantly changes. Nothing remains exactly the same. When the Buddha awakened, he saw deeply that all things arise from conditions. When the conditions gather, something appears. When the conditions dissolve, it fades away. Nothing exists independently of these conditions or outside the flow of time. A beautiful flower in your hand will wilt in a few days. A sweet child will one day grow old. A sadness that weighs on your heart now will loosen its hold when conditions change. A happiness that thrills you today will soften tomorrow, replaced by new worries or new joys. Everything moves. Even you, right now, are not the same as you were a moment ago. Impermanence is not here to steal your happiness. We tend to see impermanence as the thief of all that's precious. It takes away youth, health, loved ones, money, success. But if you look more closely, you'll see that impermanence is what makes new life, healing, and renewal possible. If wounds didn't change, they would never heal. If winter didn't change, spring would never come. If sorrow were permanent, we'd be trapped in endless darkness. If people never changed, someone cruel could never grow kind. Impermanence does not destroy happiness, it makes it possible. The real problem isn't impermanence, but our tight grip on things that cannot stay. The three marks are interconnected. In Buddhism, the three marks, impermanence, suffering, non-self, are woven together. Because everything is impermanent, clinging brings suffering. Because everything depends on conditions. There is no fixed self controlling it all. This is non-self. Seeing one clearly helps us understand the others. Together, they free us from illusions and soften our suffering. Impermanence teaches us to let go and cherish. Understanding impermanence doesn't mean we live in despair. On the contrary, it's a gentle wake-up call to treasure what we have while we have it. Knowing our parents will not be here forever makes us love them more deeply, with more patience. Knowing our health will fade inspires us to care for our bodies and savor each breath. Knowing love can shift and end teaches us to love fully, without chains or demands. Impermanence shows us how to release what we can't hold on to, so our hearts can stay light. Letting go doesn't mean throwing life away, it means not tying ourselves up in illusions of forever. It's freedom. It's living fully here and now. Seeing impermanence, living awake. People who don't see impermanence clearly often live in confusion, excited when they gain, crushed when they lose. Those who do see it live differently. They greet what comes with gratitude and let go of what leaves with acceptance. A season of blooming is enjoyed wholeheartedly. A relationship that arrives is treasured while it lasts. Success is welcomed but not clung to. Failure is accepted and known to pass. Each moment becomes precious, because we know it will never repeat itself exactly. It's because of impermanence that awakening is possible. If things were truly fixed, if ignorance, hatred, and pain were permanent, there would be no freedom. The Buddha could not have awakened. And neither could we. But because everything shifts, a confused mind can become clear. A careless heart can grow kind. A lost person can turn around. Each moment is an opening. Each breath is a chance to plant new seeds. Each day is a chance to start again. Impermanence, a gateway to true freedom. Impermanence may frighten us at first, but for those who see it clearly, it becomes the key to real freedom. Why fear death, if death is just another part of this endless flow? Why cling to youth, when aging is part of a beautiful journey? Why despair at goodbyes, when every meeting was once a miracle of conditions coming together? When we understand impermanence, we stop chasing after what slips away and start living more simply, more completely, more gratefully, moment to moment. This is how the Buddha lived, and what he taught, a way to return home to ourselves in the middle of life's endless changes. Impermanence, not just to know, but to live. Someone who understands impermanence does not fear loss or change. They know only one thing never changes: change itself. And when you live in harmony with change, you're no longer a victim of life's flow, you're a mindful, gentle companion of it. Every morning you wake up, remember, today will not repeat yesterday. Every touch, every loving word, every simple meal, these are treasures, precious because they will not last. Impermanence is not a tragedy. It's an invitation: wake up, appreciate, loosen your grip, and taste the quiet freedom of a heart unburdened, right here in the ever-moving dance of life. From blossoms to silver hair, everything flows. Look around you. And look within you, every single thing is moving. The flower that blooms in the morning sun will droop by evening. The fresh, smooth skin of a baby will one day wrinkle into lines that tell a lifetime of stories. A moment of laughter will fade into silence. A moment of sorrow will soften into calm. In every instant, we are changing. Cells in our body die and renew. Thoughts arise and disappear. Feelings surge and quiet down. The person you were 5 years ago is not the person you are now, not just in body, but in dreams, in wounds, in wisdom. Even as you read these words, your breath moves in and out, your heartbeat flows, your mind wanders and returns. Impermanence in motion. This flow, this constant, subtle shifting, is what Buddhism calls impermanence. It's not hidden in books or temples, it's right here in the simple truth that nothing stands still. The flower that blooms must wilt. The child that grows must age. The strong body must weaken. The full moon must wane. When we first really see this, it can feel unsettling, because we spend so much of our lives trying to hold on. We cling to beauty, to health, to love, to people, to moments. We grip so tightly, hoping that this time, this thing, this person, this feeling will stay. But reality doesn't bend to our hopes, it simply flows on. Not a threat, but a teacher. Impermanence is not here to scare us. It's here to wake us up. If we resist it, we suffer. But if we accept it, we begin to live. When you see that everything changes, you stop demanding that life holds still for you. Instead, you start showing up for each moment as it is. You hold your child's tiny hand and know it won't always be tiny, so you treasure it more. You look in the mirror at strands of gray hair and see not a loss, but a testament to the seasons you have survived. Impermanence turns our ordinary days into precious chances. It turns later into now. It reminds us that this conversation, this meal, this sunset is unrepeatable. Once it's gone, it's gone. So, be here for it fully. The fear of change, and the gift hidden inside. Most people fear change because it feels like death. And in a way, it is, the death of what we knew, the death of what we wished would last. But every ending opens a space for something new. The tree must let go of its old leaves so new buds can grow. The child must leave behind childish things to stand on their own feet. The old version of you must dissolve so you can be reborn, wiser, softer, more awake. If there were no impermanence, there would be no growth, no healing, no transformation. Wounds would never close. Sadness would never lift. Cruel people could never change. Stagnation would suffocate life. Impermanence is the fresh wind that keeps life from rotting in place. Letting go is not giving up. When you truly see how everything flows, you learn to let go, not out of despair, but out of deep understanding. Letting go does not mean not loving. It means loving without chaining. It means caring without grasping. It means holding everything with open hands, knowing it will pass through, and that this is not a loss but a natural law. Letting go is not an act of weakness. It's the highest act of wisdom and trust. It's how the river flows. It's how the seasons come and go. It's how you breathe. You cannot inhale forever. You must let go to make space for the next breath. Impermanence and renewal. The Buddha taught that everything conditioned, everything made up of causes and conditions, is impermanent. But he didn't stop there. He showed that seeing this truth clearly is the beginning of freedom. Why? Because when we see impermanence, we stop clinging. And when we stop clinging, we stop suffering. We find the courage to sit with loss and not be broken by it. We learn that our true refuge is not in what we can hold on to, but in how awake and open our heart can be in the midst of change. Every moment is a rebirth. From blossoms to silver hair, life is always inviting us to be reborn. To shed old skin, old hurts, old identities. To forgive. To release. To step forward into something new. The question is not if we will change, we have no choice. The question is how we will meet that change. With resistance and fear. Or with eyes open, heart soft. Hands ready to let go and receive again. Every moment is a gate. Every breath is a chance to live fully now. Not clinging to yesterday. Not grasping for tomorrow. Just here, feeling the tender beauty of all that is passing through. The flower, the silver hair, the flow. So look at the flower in your hand. Touch your aging skin. Feel the breath moving in and out of your chest. These are not signs to fear, they are reminders that you belong to life's great river. Nothing stays the same, and that's why everything matters. When we see this, we don't live in regret or dread. We live with gratitude. We love more deeply. We forgive more easily. We waste less time. We bow to what comes, and we bow to what goes. Impermanence isn't here to hurt you. It's here to show you how precious this fleeting life is, and how free you can be when you flow with it instead of fighting it. From blossoms to silver hair. Let everything flow. Why do we suffer when everything changes? Ask yourself honestly, is it really change that hurts us? A leaf falls. A flower wilts. The sun sets. The seasons shift from rain to sunshine to rain again, nature transforms itself endlessly, and yet we don't feel pain when we watch this flow. So why, when a loved one leaves, a relationship ends, or something familiar disappears, does our heart feel like it's breaking apart? It's not change that hurts, it's our clinging. The truth is simple, the nature of life never intended to cause us pain. Pain comes from the part of us that refuses to accept life's true nature. A child grows up and leaves home, that's natural. But when a parent wants to keep their child forever small, forever needing them, suffering begins. A love story blooms and fades, just like clouds gathering and drifting apart. If we see this clearly, we cherish the time we share. But if we demand love to stay frozen as it was at the start, we drown ourselves in jealousy and blame. Our bodies are strong in youth and will weaken with age, this is inevitable. But when we crave to hold on to youth, we start hating our reflection, fearing people's judgment, spending endless energy chasing an illusion of permanence. The root of suffering lies inside us. The Buddha never blamed the world for our pain. He pointed directly to its true source. Desire is the root of suffering. Why? Because craving means wanting to possess. Attachment means clinging so tightly that we forget what's real. We can't order the wind to stop blowing or the clouds to stay still. Yet in our minds, we try to do exactly that, demanding people never change, demanding our bodies never age, demanding happiness never fade. When reality doesn't match our fantasies, we feel betrayed, disappointed, and hurt. Pain comes from putting faith in the wrong place. We often confuse what's temporary with what's unshakable. We mistake a promise for forever. We mistake a name, a title, a position for a permanent identity. We think an emotion we feel now will stay the same for life. But life doesn't obey our ideas. It moves by causes and conditions. When conditions come together, things appear. When conditions end, they fall away. When we truly see this, we realize there's nothing solid to grasp. We don't suffer because we lose, we suffer because we fear losing. Sometimes the pain isn't even in the moment of loss. It starts while we still have what we fear losing. We love someone. But instead of simply loving, we worry about losing them, we doubt them, we try to control them. Love turns into chains. We have money, but instead of using it to live well, we fear losing it. Guard it anxiously, and lose sleep over it. We gain status, but instead of using it to help others, we live in paranoia about losing our place, our image, our power. The tighter we grip, the heavier our hearts grow. To end suffering, don't run away, learn to let go. Many people think the answer to ending suffering is to shut themselves off from change. They hide in a comfort zone. Close their hearts, avoid deep love, avoid trust. But hiding never frees us from pain, it just shifts pain into another form. The Buddha's way is not to harden the heart, but to open it fully, without chains. To love, but not imprison. To care, but not cling. To live, but not try to control every outcome. Seeing desire clearly is the first step toward freedom. When we see that craving and attachment are the roots of our suffering, we stop wasting our strength trying to fix the world to match our wishes. Instead, we turn inward and adjust ourselves. Less craving, less pain. Less clinging, more lightness. Less illusion of permanence, more space for life to breathe. When we understand impermanence, we know everything we hold is borrowed for a while. We care for it deeply, but we are ready to release it when the time comes. Letting go doesn't kill love. Many fear that letting go means losing love. But true letting go only releases the chains, not the care. Real love stays. A relationship can remain, but lighter, freer, like a breeze instead of a cage. A possession can be used, but not become a burden we guard day and night. Letting go doesn't take anything away. It simply restores things to their natural place. Pain is a mirror that shows us our own gripping. Every time we feel pain, it's an invitation to look inside. What am I clinging to? What am I afraid to lose? What am I trying to hold that was never mine to keep forever? Each time we see one more thread we're gripping, we can loosen it. Little by little. The heart grows lighter, the breath grows deeper. We keep living, loving, working, dreaming, but we're no longer trapped by our attachments. When we stop clinging, we are free. Change is no longer our enemy. It becomes a teacher reminding us to live fully. When people come, we welcome them. When they go, we are grateful for the time we shared. When success comes, we enjoy it. When loss happens, we accept it. Each moment is a gift, because we know no moment repeats exactly. This is what the Buddha left us, not an abstract philosophy, but a real, practical key to freedom, hidden in plain sight inside our own hearts. Why do we suffer when everything changes? Because we refuse to change with it. Because we clutch what can't be held. And so, only when we dare to loosen our grip can we truly come home, calm and unshaken, in the middle of life's endless flow. Knowing impermanence, we live differently. There is something quietly radical about really seeing impermanence, not just as an idea you nod along with, but as a living truth you feel in your bones. When you truly understand that everything is in constant motion, that nothing stays exactly as it is, no matter how tightly you grip, you start living differently. Life doesn't change, your relationship with life does. You cherish more deeply. When you see impermanence clearly, the ordinary moments stop being ordinary. You realize this morning will never come back again. The way your child laughs today will not sound exactly the same tomorrow. The gentle touch of your partner's hand, the quiet meal you share. The call from an old friend, each is here for just a flicker of time, then it changes form, or ends altogether. Seeing this, you don't take things for granted anymore. You love with your whole heart, not because you can keep people or moments forever, but because you can't. You say, thank you, more often, you apologize sooner, you hold people while you can. You understand that this moment right here, is more real and valuable than all the dreams and regrets swirling in your mind. Impermanence is the teacher that whispers. Don't sleepwalk through your life. Look closer. Feel deeper. Be here now, because now is already slipping away. You let go more easily. The Buddha taught that clinging, wanting to make the impermanent permanent, is the cause of our deepest suffering. But when you see how impossible that is, you stop trying to force life into shapes that don't fit. You learn to loosen your grip. You accept that people grow and drift. You accept that plans fail and change. You accept that your own body will grow older, weaker, softer, and you meet that truth with tenderness instead of resistance. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop demanding that things stay frozen to make you feel safe. It's an inner shift. I will give my best, but I will not chain myself to the outcome. I will love you deeply, but I will not try to own you. I will build my dreams, but I will not be destroyed when life remakes them. Each time you release your grip, your heart grows lighter. You don't spend your life carrying yesterday on your back. You don't waste today fighting what can't be fought. You don't fear tomorrow so much, because you know, change is not my enemy. It is simply life breathing. You judge and compare less. A mind that clings is a mind that judges. It wants to label good/bad, right/wrong, better/worse, mine/yours. But when you see that everything shifts, you lose interest in rigid labels. You see someone succeed, and you know, their success will change, just as yours will. You see someone stumble, and you know, failure isn't forever either. The anger you feel today may soften tomorrow. The opinion you defend fiercely today may look foolish to you in 5 years. This softens you. You become less quick to judge others, less eager to compete, less obsessed with proving yourself. You understand, everyone is doing the best they can, inside a river of changing conditions. When someone hurts you, you see, they are not fixed either. Their ignorance, fear, or anger can transform. And so can yours. This doesn't mean you excuse harm, it means you know not to freeze anyone, even yourself, inside a single story. Impermanence makes you more alive. Most people think impermanence is depressing. But if you look closely, it's the exact opposite. If things didn't change, nothing new would be possible. A wound would never heal. Winter would never become spring. An unkind heart would stay cruel forever. A lost person would stay lost. Because life moves, so can you. You can let parts of you die, the bitterness, the old grudges, the false pride, and let something fresher grow in their place. Every breath you take is proof that letting go is not loss, it's life itself. It's not just about you. When you live this way, cherishing, letting go, judging less, your presence changes the space around you. People feel safer with you. You don't demand perfection, so they can breathe. You don't tie them down, so they feel free to come closer. You don't cling to how they should be, so they have room to become who they could be. Your calm is a refuge. Your trust in change is an encouragement. Your gentle eyes remind people, it's okay to flow. It's okay to grow. It's okay to not stay the same. The most precious kind of strength. To live by impermanence is not weakness, it's a powerful courage. It means loving people without needing guarantees. It means building dreams without fearing the day they dissolve. It means touching every moment deeply, knowing it won't stay, and loving it even more for that reason. It means standing in the middle of this fragile, fleeting life, heart open, hands open, and saying, yes. Even so, I am here. Even so, I choose to care. Even so, I choose to let go when it's time. When you know impermanence, you live fully. When you know everything is changing, you cherish what's here. You let go when it's time. You judge less, love more, and waste less time on what doesn't matter. This is not a philosophy you memorize, it's a way of seeing that transforms your entire life. Impermanence is not something you conquer. It's something you walk with, breathe with, bow to. And the more you do, the freer you become, and the more alive you feel, in this moment, the only one that truly exists. Impermanence heals us when we face loss. Loss is part of life's story, no one can avoid it. Sooner or later, something we love slips through our fingers, a loved one passes away, a relationship ends. A dream crumbles, our own health fades. When this happens, the mind cries out, "Why did this have to change?" And the heart aches as if it will never mend. Yet in the midst of this pain, the Buddha offered a truth so simple that it can feel like a small light in a dark tunnel: nothing lasts forever. This truth, which can feel heavy when we're happy, becomes gentle medicine when we're hurting. No pain is forever. When grief first arrives, it can feel like it will swallow you whole. The emptiness in your chest, the tears that won't stop, the nights that stretch on endlessly, it all feels so solid, so permanent. But if you sit quietly and breathe, you will see, even this pain moves. It changes shape. It rises and falls. Some days you wake up and it's sharp and raw. Other days it softens, drifts to the background. A moment comes, a laugh with a friend, a ray of sunlight on your face, the sound of birds in the morning, and for a heartbeat you feel okay again. That small glimpse is proof, your heart is not frozen, your life is not over, and no sorrow is forever. Impermanence means that what is here now will change. The good times will not last forever, but neither will the dark ones. The past cannot trap you. When we lose someone or something we love, we often get stuck in yesterday. We replay memories, replay mistakes, replay what-ifs. We hold on to what was because we're terrified of stepping into what is. But when you understand impermanence deeply, you begin to see, the past is not a place you can live. It's like a dream, precious, real in its moment, but already dissolved when you open your eyes. The more tightly you cling to it, the more life you drain from the present. Impermanence teaches us to bow to the past, to honor it, to feel it fully, but not to chain ourselves to it. We can stand at a grave, or at the end of a marriage, or at the edge of a broken dream, and breathe. This, too, will change. And I, too, can keep walking. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. Some people fear that accepting impermanence means forgetting the people or things they loved. But the truth is the opposite. Impermanence lets us remember with love, not chains. You can keep a memory alive in your heart while still stepping forward. You can carry someone's smile, their words, the lessons they left behind, but you don't have to live inside the moment they left. The moment is gone. The love remains, transformed into something you carry, something that moves with you, not against you. Impermanence grows compassion. When you know pain changes, you become gentler with others, too. You see someone grieving and you don't rush them or lecture them to move on. You know healing moves in waves, not straight lines. You stand beside them, not fixing their sadness, but quietly reminding them, you won't feel like this forever. Life is still here. It's waiting when you're ready. Loss is a teacher. When something precious is taken away, it strips away illusions. Suddenly, we see how fragile life is. How precious time is. How easily we waste our days, acting like we have forever. Grief can make you softer or harder, the choice is yours. Impermanence invites you to soften. To open your heart more, not less. To love people while you have them. To say the words now. To forgive. To stop hoarding resentments that only grow heavier as life flows on. You begin again. When you know impermanence, you know that life never truly stops. Even when something ends, something else begins. The forest burns, and seedlings rise from the ash. A door closes, and another opens, quietly. Somewhere you weren't looking. This doesn't mean you move on by pretending nothing happened. It means you grow around the loss, the way a tree grows around a broken branch. It stays part of you, but it doesn't have to be all of you. One breath at a time. Sometimes, when the grief feels too big, the mind races, how will I live like this forever? That's when impermanence is a lifeline. It reminds you, you don't have to live like this forever. You only have to breathe through this moment. And the next. And the next. Bit by bit. The edges soften. Tears turn into quiet memories. The ache turns into wisdom. And slowly, you find yourself laughing again, dreaming again, loving again, not despite the loss, but because loss taught you how rare and bright every moment really is. Impermanence is not the end, it's the way through. No one escapes loss. But no one has to stay buried in it either. When you trust that nothing, not even grief, lasts forever, you stop resisting life's flow. You open the door a crack, then a little wider, until life rushes back in, carrying you forward. You see that death makes room for birth. Endings clear the way for beginnings. What you lost was real, and so is what waits ahead. Impermanence heals. So when your heart breaks, remember this. No pain is final. No goodbye erases all you carry inside. No past can imprison you when you see it clearly. Life goes on. And so can you. One breath, one small, brave step, at a time. Everything is borrowed, even this body. When you pause and look closely at your life, you may see a simple truth that can shake you and free you at the same time. Nothing you hold is truly yours forever, not your body, not your name, not your wealth, not your relationships. Everything you think you own is really just borrowed for a while. It comes together through countless conditions, stays as long as those conditions allow, and then changes shape or slips through your hands. Even this body is not truly ours. We speak of my body as if it's something we can keep. But your body is not a solid thing you possess, it's a living, changing collection of borrowed elements. Food from the earth, water from the rain, air from the sky, warmth from the sun. Your parents gave you their genes. The soil gave you the vegetables you ate. The farmers, the rain, the sun. The wind, all these unseen hands built your bones and blood. Even now, your body is constantly trading with the world. You breathe in, you breathe out. Cells die and are replaced. Hair falls out and grows back. You are not a fixed structure, you're a living flow. One day, when this body's conditions end, it dissolves back into the same earth, air, and water it came from. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is truly lost. But nothing stays mine. Our titles and status are borrowed, too. Think about it, the job you have now, the title next to your name. The praise or recognition people give you, none of it is yours by right forever. It depends on time, circumstances, and the perceptions of others. A manager today might be an employee tomorrow. A star today might be forgotten next year. The applause that once made you feel worthy might one day fade into silence. If you build your self-worth on borrowed titles, the day they slip away, you feel empty and lost. But if you understand they were only ever borrowed, you can hold them lightly. You do your best. You serve with care. But you don't confuse what you do with who you truly are. Relationships are also borrowed. The people in your life, your family, your friends, your partner, are not possessions you can keep on a shelf. They are living beings, walking their own paths. With free will and their own seasons of coming and going. Sometimes you walk together for a long time. Sometimes your paths cross briefly. Sometimes you grow apart, even when you wish you wouldn't. The moments you share are precious exactly because they don't belong to you forever. Each hug, each laugh, each conversation is a gift on loan. And when you know that, you cherish them more, you say the kind word now, you forgive sooner, you love without trying to cage the other person. The trap of trying to possess. When we forget that everything is borrowed, we start clinging. We hold so tightly to people, titles, bodies, and things that we squeeze the life out of them, and ourselves. We try to make love stay the same. We try to keep people from changing. We try to freeze our youth. We try to guard our wealth and status like dragons hoarding gold. But life does not bend to our fear of losing. The tighter we grip, the heavier our hearts grow. The freedom of gratitude without possession. What happens when you remember, nothing here is truly mine to own, but everything is mine to cherish while it's here? You breathe easier. You stop fighting life's flow. You become a good steward instead of a desperate owner. You tend your body with respect, feeding it, resting it, healing it, but you know it will grow old and return to the earth. You honor your relationships, loving deeply, showing up fully, but you release the idea that you own anyone's time or heart. You enjoy your success when it comes. You use your money wisely when you have it. You share what you can, knowing it's all on loan from life itself. Borrowed, but not meaningless. Some people think that if everything is borrowed, it must be meaningless. But it's the opposite. If you know something is borrowed, you care for it more tenderly. You don't take it for granted. Imagine holding a beautiful vase that a dear friend asked you to look after for a while. You don't smash it just because it's not yours. You keep it safe, you dust it. You admire it every day. When the time comes to return it, you do so with gratitude, not regret. Life is like that. Your body, your loved ones, your time, they are treasures in your hands for now. You don't waste them. You don't cling to them in fear. You honor them by living fully and letting go when the moment comes. The art of loving without owning. This is what the Buddha meant when he spoke of non-attachment. He did not say, do not love. He said, do not cling. Love fully. But do not chain what cannot be chained. Hold your child's hand while they are small, knowing they will grow and leave. Hold your lover's hand, knowing you cannot bind their heart forever. Hold your own youth gently, knowing it will fade and give way to another season of wisdom. This is the way of true freedom, love without possession, care without control, gratitude without chains. Everything is borrowed, and that makes life precious. Your next breath is borrowed from the air. Your next meal is borrowed from the earth. The people around you are borrowed companions on the road. Even your body is borrowed from the elements. So do not cling, cherish. Do not possess, appreciate. Do not waste, wake up to the miracle that for now, you get to hold these things close. When the time comes to return them, you will not panic. You will bow, hands empty but heart full, knowing that in this dance of borrowing and returning, you have truly lived. Impermanence is what makes life alive. Sometimes people hear the word impermanence and feel a wave of fear wash over them. They imagine a world where nothing stays, where everything they love slips through their fingers. But look deeper, and you'll see, impermanence is not life's curse, it's life's heartbeat. It's the very reason anything can grow, bloom, or heal at all. If nothing changed, nothing would be born. No seeds would sprout. No child would learn to speak. No winter would melt into spring. If nothing changed, we would all be trapped in one frozen moment, and life would lose its pulse. The beauty of a flower is its short life. Think about a flower. What makes it beautiful? Its colors, its scent, its delicate petals. But deep down, you know another secret reason: a flower is beautiful because it won't last. Its beauty is fleeting, and that is exactly why we lean in to see it more clearly, to breathe it in more deeply. If the flower stayed perfect forever, we'd stop noticing it. It would become invisible, just another fixture in a world that never moves. Impermanence turns an ordinary blossom into a miracle for the senses. In the same way, our days feel precious because we know we won't get them back. We feel joy more fully because we know it won't stay frozen. Even our tears, when they come, remind us, this, too, will pass. Sadness softens. Wounds close. Life reshapes itself, again and again. If nothing changed, you'd never grow. Imagine if you could never change, you'd be stuck forever in the same body, the same mind, the same patterns. The mistakes you made as a child would still define you. The pain you felt years ago would never loosen its grip. But because everything moves, you can learn. You can start over. You can let parts of yourself die so that something wiser can take root in their place. Your mind can expand. Your heart can heal. Old grudges can fade. New dreams can be born. We often say we want things to stay the same, but deep down, what we really want is to keep what we like and skip what we don't. Life doesn't work that way. It doesn't freeze your favorite moments without freezing the hard ones too. The same flow that carries away your happiness sometimes is also the flow that washes away your pain. Impermanence gives tears their purpose. No one loves to cry, but think about what it would mean if you couldn't. If your heartbreak or grief could never move, never find a way out. If sorrow stayed stuck, unmoving, lodged in your chest like a stone forever. Tears are proof of impermanence. They carry your pain out of you, little by little. They mean you are alive. That your heart is tender enough to feel and brave enough to release. One day you look back and see, the moments that broke you open also softened you, made you more human, more compassionate. Your tears are part of the same dance that makes a flower bloom, a cycle of appearing, dissolving, feeding something new. Change is not the enemy, it's the artist. Impermanence is like an invisible artist, always shaping and reshaping the canvas of your life. Sometimes it paints you scenes of joy. The warmth of your mother's hug, the rush of first love, a dream come true. Sometimes it sketches shadows, heartbreak, failure, loneliness. But the painting never stays still. When you understand this, you don't cling to the good moments with desperation. You savor them, fully, deeply, gratefully, and you trust that when they fade, the brush is still moving. Something new will take shape. Something you can't yet imagine. The magic of ordinary moments. Impermanence is what makes a sunset beautiful, it's slipping away even as you watch. It's what makes a meal with family taste sweeter, you know there won't be 1,000 meals exactly like it. It's what makes laughter with friends so vivid, the moment rises and disappears like a spark. If everything stayed, you'd stop noticing. If nothing ended, you'd stop caring. What makes life alive is exactly this, everything you touch is on its way to becoming something else. When you stop fighting change, you start living. Most of our suffering comes not from change itself, but from our resistance to it. We want the good to stay, the bad to go, the neutral to stay neutral forever. But life ignores those demands, it keeps moving anyway. When you accept impermanence, you don't resign yourself to hopelessness, you wake up to possibility. You hold things lightly. You love people without trying to own them. You build dreams and let them evolve. You open your hands instead of clenching your fists. You stop asking life to pause, and start dancing with it while it's here. The river keeps flowing. Impermanence is the river you live inside. You can stand in the current, cursing the water for moving. Or you can step in, feel it swirl around you, and trust that every drop carries you forward. Flowers bloom and wilt. Tears fall and dry. You grow, break, heal, and grow again. If nothing changed, none of this would be possible. It's impermanence that makes your life a living miracle, one breath, one moment, one heartbeat at a time. So when you see a flower today, see its briefness as its gift. When you feel tears in your eyes, know they won't stay, and that's why they matter. Life does not promise to stay the same. It promises to move. And because it moves, you get to truly live. Let go, but don't give up. One of the most misunderstood ideas in the practice of impermanence is that letting go means giving up. Some people hear the word non-attachment and imagine it means becoming cold, distant, indifferent, drifting through life like a ghost who doesn't care about anything or anyone. But true letting go is not about abandoning life, it's about showing up more fully for it. When you understand impermanence deeply, you don't become numb. You become awake. You don't stop caring, you care with your whole heart, knowing you can't freeze a single moment in time. Letting go is not the same as walking away. Giving up means turning your back when things get hard. It means closing your heart because you're afraid of loss. It means saying, "Why bother loving or trying, if nothing lasts?" Letting go is the opposite. It says, "I will show up, give my best, love you fully, and when the time comes to release, I will do so with open hands." Not clenched fists. Letting go is not passive. It's an act of courage. It's standing in front of life's constant flow, arms wide open, heart wide open, saying, "I accept that I cannot control this forever, but while it's here, I am all in." Impermanence invites you to be all here, now. When you know a moment won't come again, you stop drifting through it half asleep. You stop putting off what matters. You don't hold back your love for later. You don't save your kind words for some future day that may never come. You say, "I love you, now." You forgive now. You laugh fully now. You focus on the person in front of you now. Letting go is not about doing less, it's about pouring yourself into what's here. Because you know it will pass. True effort comes from knowing it will change. Some people think, if everything changes, what's the point of trying? Why work hard, build anything? Or care about making something better? But look closer, impermanence is exactly why your effort matters. A garden left alone will grow wild with weeds. A relationship left unattended will wither. Your health left uncared for will decline faster. You tend your life because it's changing, not in spite of that. You plant seeds because you know they'll sprout, blossom, then fade, and then you plant more. You love someone not to trap them in your idea of forever, but to walk beside them through seasons of change. Let go of outcomes, not commitment. When you let go, you're not saying, "I don't care what happens." You're saying, "I will give my best to this moment, but I understand I can't control every result." A farmer can't force the rain to fall. A parent can't keep a child small forever. An artist can't make the world love their work exactly as they do. But they plant the seed, nurture the child. Paint the canvas anyway, because effort is alive, even if outcomes shift. You do your part, and you let life do the rest. When you let go, you love better. Attachment tries to possess. Letting go loves with freedom. When you cling, you grip too tightly, afraid that if you loosen your hold, you'll lose everything. But you can't squeeze life into staying the same. When you loosen that grip, you give your love room to breathe. You respect other people's freedom. You trust that the moments you share are precious enough, even if they change form. A partner may grow in ways you didn't plan. A friend may drift for a while and return. A dream may shift into something you never expected. If you let go of controlling every turn, you stay open to surprises bigger than your fears. Letting go keeps you from breaking. Life will break your plans. That's not a threat, it's just how reality works. People move away. Careers end. Bodies age. Dreams get remade. If you hold too tightly to one version of life, you will shatter when life inevitably changes shape. But if you hold gently, you bend instead of break. You move with the current instead of drowning in it. Letting go doesn't mean you don't feel sadness. Of course you do, you're human. But you don't chain yourself to the sadness forever. You let it move through you, like the wind through an open window. Letting go is trust. Trusting impermanence means trusting yourself to adapt. Trusting that you can survive change. Trusting that when something ends, something new will come. It means trusting that your worth doesn't disappear when your circumstances do. Your love doesn't vanish when a relationship does. Your peace doesn't die with one loss. A life of soft hands, not clenched fists. A clenched fist tries to hold everything tight, but it can't hold much. An open hand can hold what it needs and let it go when the time comes. You don't have to fight life every step of the way. You don't have to fight people to stay. You don't have to fight your own aging body. You can live with soft hands, soft eyes, and a soft heart, strong not because it controls, but because it lets go and loves anyway. Give everything, let everything go. This is the paradox: the more you let go, the more fully you can give yourself to what's here. Hold your child close, but let them grow. Pour your passion into your work, but don't cling to the praise. Love someone with your whole being, but don't try to own them. Do your best every day, but don't demand that life obey every plan. Let go, but don't give up. Impermanence asks you to surrender control, not surrender your heart. To loosen your grip, not your effort. To trust the flow, not drift without purpose. This is how you live awake, alive, and free. All in, but not attached. Fully present, but not chained. Open to each moment, ready to release it when it's done. This is letting go, not giving up, and it's one of the greatest strengths you can ever hold. Impermanence doesn't just take, it gives. When people first hear about impermanence, they often feel a quiet fear. Nothing lasts forever. Everything I love will fade. Everything I build will someday crumble. It can sound like a cold truth, a thief in the night, always waiting to steal what we hold dear. But if you look closer, you'll see that impermanence isn't just the force that takes things away. It's also the very reason you get second chances. It's the reason new beginnings exist at all. It's the reason you can heal, forgive, and wake up to a new version of yourself, over and over again. Impermanence means you get to begin again. If nothing changed, your life would be frozen the moment you were born. There would be no room to learn from your mistakes, to shed old skins, to grow new dreams. You'd be trapped inside the same old patterns, the same old wounds, the same old stories, with no hope of rewriting them. Because things change. You can stand up when you fall down. Because things change, you can mend a broken relationship. Because things change, you can forgive others and yourself. Because things change, you can wake up tomorrow and decide, I want to live differently. No mistake defines you forever. No heartbreak holds you prisoner forever. No loss ends your story completely. Life moves. And so can you. Impermanence is what lets you love again. Have you ever felt like your heart would never open again? After betrayal, loss, disappointment, we tell ourselves, never again. We put up walls. We shrink back. But slowly, life shifts inside you. One day you wake up and realize your heart is still beating. Your chest still rises and falls. A smile from a stranger. A gentle word from a friend, a soft sunset, and something stirs in you that you thought was gone. This is impermanence at work, dissolving the old hurt, making space for new tenderness. You don't have to force it. Life keeps moving through you. The same flow that carried your sorrow away brings fresh reasons to care again. The past cannot hold you hostage. So many of us drag yesterday behind us like a heavy sack. Regret, guilt, shame, grief, we replay it all, convinced it's who we are. But impermanence whispers. This isn't fixed. This isn't forever. Your past is real, but it's not the whole truth. You are not frozen in that worst moment. Every breath you take is proof that you're moving forward. Whether you realize it or not. You can't erase what happened. But you can choose how you carry it. You can let it weigh you down, or you can let it fertilize the ground for what comes next. Impermanence says, your past is a teacher, not a cage. Sadness doesn't last forever, nothing does. When grief comes, it feels endless. A heartbreak, a death, a deep loneliness, these moments can feel like they'll never let you breathe freely again. But sit quietly. Breathe in, breathe out. Watch what happens inside you. Notice how feelings rise and fall like waves. Some days the waves crash hard. Other days, they ripple gently. Some moments you almost forget, then the wave returns. But none of them stay fixed. Not a single one. Even your darkest feelings are alive, moving, shifting, softening at the edges. One day you'll wake up and realize the sadness has changed shape. Maybe it's still there, but it doesn't crush your chest the same way. Maybe it's turned into gratitude, or tenderness, or wisdom. Impermanence doesn't ask you to deny your pain. It promises you, this, too, will change. New life arrives in small moments. Impermanence doesn't always come crashing in like a storm. Sometimes it tiptoes in quietly, a tiny bud on a tree you thought was dead. A sudden laugh after days of silence. A small spark of hope in a tired heart. If you're paying attention, you'll see life renewing itself in a million ways, every single day. The seasons turn. Wounds close. Tears dry. Something lost is replaced by something unexpected. No, it's not always what you wanted. No, it's not always easy. But it's real. And it's new. And it proves that endings are never the end. When you understand this, you breathe differently. You stop clinging so tightly. You stop panicking when things slip away. You stop believing your sadness is a life sentence. Instead, you start savoring. You hold people closer while they're here. You forgive more easily. You find the courage to try again, to love again. To dream again, to risk again. You don't take tomorrow for granted. You see today for what it is, a gift you will never get back exactly the same way. Nothing lasts forever, not even this heavy moment. When you're hurting, take one gentle breath. Feel it come. Feel it go. That's impermanence. It's not an idea, it's right there in your chest. Your breath reminds you, life moves. Life returns. Life renews itself. Even your sorrow is part of this flow. So sit here, breathe, and remember. Everything changes. Nothing stays stuck forever. Even your sadness has an end. Impermanence doesn't just take, it gives. It gives you fresh starts. It gives you second chances. It gives you hope that nothing, not even pain, has the power to trap you forever. So breathe it in. Feel it flow through you. Let the old fall away. Let the new find its way in. Because the truth is simple, and it can carry you through anything, nothing lasts forever, not even the sadness you feel today. If everything changes, then so can you. If you've stayed with me until now, pause for a moment and really let this truth sink in. If all things are always changing, then you, too, can change. You are not stuck. You are not frozen in the same old pain or mistakes forever. Impermanence isn't just about things slipping away, it's an invitation to begin again. To wake up each day with new eyes, a softer heart, a clearer mind. To forgive yourself. To release what you cannot keep. To keep moving forward, even if yesterday felt heavy. No matter how deep your wounds, no matter how lost you feel, life keeps offering you this chance. You can begin again. Right now. And again tomorrow. And again the next day. If something in this message touches you, even just a little, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your single reflection, your small story. Your one gentle insight might be the spark someone else needs to see the light again. And if you want to keep walking this mindful path together, learning, reflecting, and living with the timeless wisdom the Buddha shared with us, please consider subscribing to this channel. Turn on the bell so you don't miss the next lesson that might be exactly what your heart needs to hear. Thank you for being here in this moment, fully, bravely, openly. May you find peace in every breath. May you remember that nothing is forever, not even the parts that hurt. May you live each day as the chance it truly is. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha.